veins, I've been driving this train. Years in this lane, there's no stopping this flame. Cause I came to the game and I changed it to play how I like, rearranged it to my own domain. Yeah, I got what it takes, made lots of mistakes, taking shots, skipping breaks, feeling lost, feeling great, popping off, singing straight, never stopped, never changed. All the squad here to play, and I've got something to say, yeah. I work hard each and every day, I get lost in the words I say. I don't push pause, no, I push play. I won't stop till I make a change. I withdraw on the things I make. I turn flaws into flawless traits. I build tall, never capping space. I won't stop till I hear him say,
Hey guys, welcome back. This is the Actually Aubrey podcast, and Miss Iffy and I are back for Love and Marriage Huntsville Season 8, Episode 3, New Beefcakes on the Block. How are you today, Miss Iffy?
I'm good, thank you very much. How are you?
I'm good. I am well. It is hot here in Detroit, Michigan. It is almost 90 degrees. I want to send a shout out to my high school classmate who today was ordained at Gospel Tabernacle Church in Detroit, Michigan. I am so proud of Yvette. Yvette, kudos to you. Yay!
Yay. Congratulations,
yes.
Yvette.
I know. It was such a beautiful ordination also, and to hear all the wonderful things that she does in the community, including being president and over organizing the food bank for people that are have food insecurities, and also our electrical company and our heating company here. She's also over programs that help them with grants so that if they can't pay their bills in the middle of winter, they can't keep their electricity on, that they are able to do so. So I'm very proud of Yvette. And again, I just want to send out a big kudos to her. And it's been a crazy week here. Let me get my banner up. It's been a crazy week here. I was telling Miss Iffy that within the last week or so that Martell has been convicted of his charges that they were talking about this season in episode 1. He's been convicted. Most of us know that he has also filed an appeal, so he is out on bond. But that also that surprisingly Destiny was rearrested, and it looks like it may be allegedly charges something to do with the charges in the past from her ex-husband. So now I'm not sure why exactly the ex-husband would want her rearrested, except unless, what do you think? You think maybe it's custody related, Miss Iffy?
I think so. And from what I'm thinking is to do with the custody. He must want something. He must really want full custody.
Yes. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
They've been battling that for a long time now, haven't they?
Yeah, kind of like Melody and Martell. These divorces, when you have children, can be rather sticky. I mean, they can be rather sticky when you have property to divide, to sell off, or to decide who gets to live there and who has to move out. It could get really heated. But then it also can get really, I think, more importantly, I guess, with the children, because both parents, if they're thinking that they're the better parent, I hear Martell saying that the fathers are so important in the children's lives, which I definitely agree with him, but it's a case-by-case basis depending on the father's character, integrity, and how he's living his life. So Martell, no, you ain't that dude. You're not that dude.
What is funny is that obviously I don't know much about Destiny's marriage, but the fact that he left her couple of days after she had the kid.
Yeah, like shortly after, yeah.
And now the fact that he's got the audacity to turn around and say he wants a full custody, and he hasn't been in the kid's life.
Right. Yeah. That's now. So they're not co-parenting. I don't understand the two of them. I don't understand why No one's co-parenting. Like, wouldn't you want? Like I said, I do agree with Martell. It's important to have a father figure or a father in your life. If everything is mentally healthy, if this person is not a danger to the child, and not a danger to the mother. And I think in some of these cases, some of these fathers are perhaps a danger to the mother.
Yeah, I think it's to do it's like he's got, I don't think he wants to, the kid, I think he just wants to hurt her. Allegedly.
Oh, so you think he's doing it more so like a control,
Yeah.
hurt issue, kind of like again like Martell, I think. So, did they marry the same man? Is Destiny married to? Was she married to Martell too? Like what?
No, it's definitely to do, you can see it's been long time, and you can definitely tell these two, it's like they still got that playground games that they play in between the ex and her.
Right. I agree. I definitely agree with you.
Which is
And
sad.
it's just bizarre. And so also going on, and I hope to talk about this a little bit later, either tonight or early tomorrow. Of course, we got the Diddy revelation. We all saw the video a couple of days
Oh,
ago. That's out, and it's just horrific. But it's not. I think for me, as someone that's experienced domestic violence, I think it's just the tip of the freaking iceberg. I mean, that's the nice stuff. Like literally, that's the nice stuff, because along with anytime a man is willing to put his hands on a woman like that, put his feet on a woman like that, and I don't even have to say allegedly because it's all out there for CNN, Google search for the whole world to see. If you haven't seen it, it's not alleged. It actually happened. And now all these people, these celebrities and stars and rappers are biting their tongue saying, "Oh, I take it back what I said, that Cassie was just in it for a money grab." I mean, it's a real sad situation. It's a real
yeah,
sad
no,
situation.
I've watched the video. It's very sad,
Okay. Mm-hmm.
to see it, and it's well, hopefully those who doubted her can now apologize to her, even though, at least she can move on in peace, and hopefully she gets all the, I mean, she's married to a great guy.
Seems to be. Like, I looked at pictures recently of her and her husband, and is glad. I'm glad that she never was forced to marry old crazy Diddy, and I'm also glad that she did not have to procreate with this man. And now she has the love of her life, and she has two beautiful children, and that's behind her, hopefully. And hopefully the law enforcement agents and all of the rest of people can get on the side of righteousness and continue to protect this lady and all of his other many alleged victims that are out there, male and female. How many times have you guys heard me say throughout these recaps that for us women, it's unsafe sometimes, and that there are literally men out there that do not like women? They don't. And it doesn't mean they don't date women, doesn't mean they don't smash women. They literally just don't like women. So don't be fooled by the charm, by the muscles, by the money. Please, ladies, especially young ladies, like Cassie was when she was forced into a relationship with Diddy, please don't be fooled by charm and wealth and power. Drug dealers, corporate men, anybody that's twice your age and you're a teenager in your early 20s, run, run. This is advice I give my own daughter when she was just getting out of high school and college, because uh, when you're nice looking and you're young, it attracts a lot of the wrong type, unfortunately, too. So beauty is a drug for some people. Like for some men, they like that power of having the most beautiful girl on their arm, right?
Yeah. There is in here in the UK, we have a law called Clare's Law. Rest her soul, actually.
Hmm.
If you are about to date somebody, you can actually go to the police if you know their full name and details, and the police will give you their history record of any abuse or any criminal history they've got, which is really, really helpful. So
Oh,
you can
now
find,
tell me, say it again. Could you put it
okay,
in the
so
chat? Could you put it in the chat real quick? I'm sorry, for our
yeah, it
listeners and
is.
viewers in the
It is
UK.
called, yeah. So the viewers in the UK, it's called the Clare's Law. So if you're talking to a guy and you
Mm-hmm.
want to find out his history, his criminal history, you can just file in a form, and then if they've got any criminal history, i.e., violence against women, or you'll be able to get that report back to let you know
Oh,
before you go in.
oh,
So you can do
okay.
basically criminal. You can do a history.
Right. Oh, okay. I see exactly what you're saying. And this is what we've been saying. Many of us have been saying on this platform, your mothers, your parents, your fathers, your friends, is before you go out, because people thinking that they know somebody in real life because they saw them on Facebook, on Snapchat, on Instagram, Telegram, whatever the gram, on Twitter. And this is even how, like, over in this country, and I'm sure everywhere else, you've got predators that are literally like pretending to be teenagers to talk to teenage girls and boys, lure them away from their home just so they can get them involved in sex trafficking, right? So it goes
Yeah.
very far. It's like, this whole Diddy thing, we look at Diddy because he's a celebrity, he's powerful, he's wealthy, he's well known, but there's just some people, average looking, average income, that are doing some horrific things with our young people. So pay attention to who your kids are talking to, what they're doing with those cell phones, because they're basically computers now at this point, right? And it gives the teenager not only access to the world, but it gives the world access to your teenagers and your preteens even, right?
Yeah.
But so thank you for putting that in the chat. Were you able to get that in?
I'm just typing it in now.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah.
I'll wait for you, and I'll keep talking for a second. Yeah, I see that. D, let me go back to your first comment. D made a comment in the chat. She said that in Martell's case, a father figure is probably better for Melody's children. Yeah, I'm thinking that too, because if what we're seeing on this show is just the tip of the iceberg of who this person is, can you imagine how the daughters and the sons are possibly what kind of character, what kind of treatment of other people? His son, the treatment of women, and his daughters, the treatment of, or how they should be treated by a man. If that's how he treated their mother and is still treating their mother the way that he does. But also on Diddy, she says that Combs can't even say that it wasn't him because he's already admitted it and apologized. Faux apology, in my opinion, saying that he went to therapy for it. I question the therapy. You know what I questioned? I questioned it if he even went. I mean, it reminds me of Clay. You guys remember Clay from this season's Love Is Blind? Clay was with his match was AD, and he waited, he got all the way up to the altar with her before he told her his plan, and that he wasn't enough in love with her to marry her, like when he could have just like did it days before on the low. I question that these guys now, because of course when after the show came out and ended in the reunion, of course Clay says that he's been to therapy, he's all healed. These are all buzzwords that are very common on the internet now, because people have access to the internet, recovery, therapy, buzzwords for a lot of people, not everyone. But what did Clay do just the other day? He's with who's
Oh
that
my God.
Clay with? He's
He's
with
with the
some
OnlyFans.
celebrity, huh?
He's no, she's not celebrity. She's basically she's well known.
Yeah. Oh,
She's
yeah. Well, no. What's the word they used to
OnlyFans.
say? Yeah, okay. Yes. Yeah. There you go. Yeah. D.
She likes to
That's it
expose.
exactly.
She's got a lot of celebrities have smashed her, and she likes to claim and boast about it, including
Oh.
Snoop. allegedly.
One of those girls. One of those gals.
Oh
Oh
yeah, yeah, oh
gosh.
yeah. She is one of those girls. Everybody,
Oof.
the amount of men
Okay.
she exposed. Yeah, no, that's what she's known for.
Wow. I was just looking at it too. And the other thing about it, I love shout out to Jessie Woo. Jessie Woo, girl, you like your goals. Like that girl is so gorgeous and she sings like an angel. And then she's got the intelligence. She's just so brilliant and so creative. She was on the other day talking about Clay. And what she said, and what a lot of us, even as reviewers of the show, could see early on, is that Clay was never into AD. The only thing he liked about AD was that fabulous body that she has. And I think, now, don't get me wrong, I think she's a beautiful woman physically and her personality stood out. But um, for a lot of some black gentlemen here in the States, I don't know about the UK, but for some black gentlemen in the States, they do not like darker skinned women. And it doesn't matter how beautiful they are. That's just not who they would plan to wife, who they would plan to procreate with, because they feel like there's a stigma attached to darker skin. And then with Clay already being a dark skinned brother, I can only imagine that there's a little bit of self hatred going on. Just
It,
yeah,
I just
right,
I can't
right
believe.
at LMV, Apollo lie, right. He's sorry he got caught like a lot of men, right. Hmm. And thank you, Miss Iffy. I see you put this up, and I started this because I'm gonna leave this up. That is a great thing over in the UK. The Claire law check via the police to find out if a partner or a guy that you're about to see has a criminal past and record before you go out with him. That's
Yes,
awesome. That
and
is so
mainly is
awesome.
for domestic violence. They would tell
Okay.
you, yeah, it's to protect women.
Absolutely. I wish they'd do something like that here. We do have access, all of us, if you're online now, of course, you've got access to a computer, a cell phone, a laptop, iPad, whatever the thing is. Do some checking on these people. And I'm going to say this, and then we're going to move on. Pay attention to those early red flags. Like when a guy, I think a lot of times as younger women and as girls, as teenagers, as women in our early 20s, we think it's so cute. Some women think it's so cute if a guy is jealous, if he wants to know their every move, he wants to track them, and he has to know where you are from breakfast to dinner to the time you lay your head on the pillow. He wants to talk to you 8-9 hours a day. Like that's a borderline control freak, in my opinion, if not an actual control freak. Like, dude, you don't need to know what I'm doing all the time. If you're
Yeah,
insecure and you're worried about whether I'm cheating on you, you're probably not the person for me, because no, you're just not the person for me. We'll say that. Go ahead. You were going to say it, Miss Iffy.
I mean, there's a lot of red flags that I always use. That this is what I tell. They love bumming you. So when a guys keep messaging you, expecting you, sending you another double message saying, "Ah, I see you ignoring me. I see you online." All of these are
Hmm.
behaviors that you need to be aware of, and many people think
Hmm.
it is cute, and it's not cute. This is
It's not
him
cute.
trying to get you to do things his way.
Yep. And then
Yeah.
also, I feel like it's also this too. You're never going to, it's showing you, here's this thing that it's going to show you. You're going to figure it out later when it's too late.
Yep.
He's trying to set you up to let you know that whatever you do that he tells you to do, it's actually never going to be enough. So he tells you have to check in with him every hour on the hour. Every now it's every 30 minutes. Now it's every 10 minutes. It's never going to be enough for a guy that's trying to control you, because like a Diddy, he's insecure. He may be on the DL. We don't know, because certainly Diddy is very
Yep.
pansexual, right? So these guys, like, you could be the most beautiful girl and you sleeping with everybody that he slept with. You sleeping with men. We don't know, did he even wash that thing off? What does it have on it? Anyway. uh anywho, let me get on with the show. So we meet up. This week's episode, we start with Nell Fletcher and Melody playing what is becoming very popular. Is this popular over in the UK, Mississippi? Pickleball.
Never heard of it.
What?
Seriously. I felt like when I was watching it, I was looking at it and I was thinking, is this tennis? But
Right, that's what I thought at first too. They had to say it was pickleball because I really was like, "Huh, what?" But no, it's becoming very big over in the States. I thought maybe
yeah,
it was a big thing over there too. I don't know anything about it personally. I know, I played a little tennis back when I was much younger. My neighbor plays tennis. She was like a tennis champion in high school and college. My girlfriend, but no, I never played pickleball, but anything to get out and have fun to exercise. I do believe that exercise is good. Miss Iffy here, she's like a gym rat. Like we're gonna talk about that a little bit later when we get to the new couple that's on the show now. But in this episode, in this scene, they're playing pickleball, but of course, that's just a setup so that Melody can ask the question about why Neil really wasn't there. So Nell says that Carlos King podcast that was live in Huntsville, they had the live show, that it was sold out too fast. What do you think, Miss Iffy?
I thought that was really, really poor excuse. She's
Really?
on the
Why?
show.
Why? Mm-hmm.
uh, She's on the show. The
Mm-hmm.
podcast is by her boss. She could have easily got tickets if she wanted it. Nothing was too sold out for the cast not to get hold of some tickets. I didn't think that was the real reason, and I felt like she wasn't really telling her why she didn't come.
Right. Right.
Yeah,
Right. That was my thing too. I was like, "Girl, bye. You sound crazy." Like if it was Beyonce and you were part of the Beehive, you would have been there. You would have had tickets like everybody that goes to concerts or events or in a small town like Huntsville. Let's just say that because Huntsville's a very small town. Everybody knows somebody, particularly let's put it this way. Nell says that her and her husband are 20 plus veterans in the entrepreneurship. So they know somebody that knows somebody to get tickets, right? Like I know
exactly.
back when I was going to events, a lot of times I could get tickets for free because of who I knew, or certainly I could get the VIP tickets or whatever like that. So I don't even go to shows like that anymore, but there's no way I couldn't pick up a phone and call somebody. And I'm not even a big wig in my big city of Detroit. I'm not that big of a big wig. I'm not a big wig at all. But everybody knows how to get tickets if you want to get tickets. And not to mention, like Melody said, why didn't you just call me? You call me for everything else.
Exactly. But also I just felt like this scene was funny. I think I think now definitely needs to think about her health, because she could not even run less than thing without running out of breath. I was really, really disappointed watching it. Her of a woman of her age and her status to be able to do activities without looking like she's about to die.
Yeah, there's a thing I don't know, like for myself, because I really have to also improve my health and I have to improve my stamina. But I do try to walk a certain distance daily, and I do other things. But there's a thing too. I think that for some of us, we're not really cognizant of, like, if we look good on the outside. Let's say this, right? So Nell looks nice. She's a beautiful lady, I think, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Um, she's a beautiful, mature, seasoned woman, and she looks good. She physically, like, figure is nice. She's got curves, this and that. But I don't think a lot of times, sometimes as we age, do we really think about, like you said, the physical fitness of it all. If you had to run a mile, if you had to, or walk really fast, somebody was behind you chasing you, like, would you be able to do it without passing out?
I mean, for me, of course, I think for everybody.
The gym rat over there. I
But
see her 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning over in the UK. She's all up on she's all on the gram with her pictures, and she's in the gym and she's doing this and doing that. I hate her.
no, do you know
Even
what
when
it
she
is?
goes on vacation, she's hiking through the jungles and hiking through these mountains and these hills.
Do you know what people
I
don't
love it.
understand? Is that a lot of people, obviously, because I've always been in a good physical shape, but when it comes to health, it is not what you look like outside, it is how you feel inside. And I felt like watching her running out of breath and that, and I was like, I really hope she looks at that scene and says to herself, I need to go and then at least do a bit of exercise in order for me to be healthy inside, not just outside.
Right. That's right. Yeah. I just thought about something too. Would it be a bad thing? I don't know Carlos King. I know he's from my city. He's from Detroit. Um, but would it have been a bad thing to even have called Carlos and said, hey, or text him and said, hey, I'd like some tickets. I know I just found about this and it looks like they're already sold out at the box office. Do you have a source? Because I know, again, from my past in entertainment, now, my friends that were musicians and in big bands and things like that, they always had extra tickets. And even my ex that played basketball, they always have extra tickets that are withheld until the last, like a day or two before the show actually goes on. And usually they're actually some of the better seats. They're like the VIP seats, they're like the front row seats, they're like the courtside seats that I've had in the past where, the basketball players are literally dripping sweat on you. Those better seats a lot of times are held, or they're like, if my friend came into town and I wasn't able to go see him wherever he was performing at, they would hold the seats and then they would release the seats, because if I couldn't go, and my friends, they would release the seats to other people that were paying customers. So there's always a way you can. I just don't understand this. What do you
No,
think?
I definitely think if she really wanted to go, she could have asked Carlos. She could have asked I'm sure she knows some of the people that was running that event. Like you said, it's a small town. She could have messaged Mel. I
Hmm.
just don't think she had the intention to go.
That's it. That was my thing. Her and her husband, I felt they really didn't have intention to go. And I've been feeling, and I've been really honest, hopefully with you guys and transparent, that Love and Marriage Huntsville is not a show that I followed from day one. I went back and watched some of the episodes, but you guys know a lot more than us. So feel free to drop into the chat, drop into the comment sections and disagree with me or fill me in on things that I don't know. But here's my take on Nell thus far. Nell was probably Melody's friend, girlfriend, and a person she could confide in back when Melody and Martell was still together and married, because it seems like a lot of these people in Huntsville were introduced to Melody through her husband at the time, Martell, right?
Yeah,
So now here's the thing I know from divorce. Oftentimes your ex-husband, the friends that he introduced you to back when you guys were cool, when you guys split, guess what? Whether they say it or not, 90% of the time, they're going to take his side, even if he was the devil and cheated on you with 100 women, made 100 babies outside of your marriage. They're going to side with him and they're going to be in his corner, and they ain't going to really care nothing about you like that no more. So I just would not, as a woman, I would not be chasing down any woman that my ex-husband introduced me to and I thought was a friend. Same thing with Nell. Same thing with Destiny. No. Mm-mm.
yeah. I think they've chosen a side, and they are not telling her that they chose the side.
Yeah.
They're trying to be neutral, but their actions is not showing that.
Exactly. That's the thing. You can't, it's just like when you're dating a man, you can't listen at just what he's saying. You got to literally match it up with, is he doing what he's saying? Is there proof that he's doing what he's saying? What do his friends and family say about him in the past? Because his past is a pretty good predictor of his future. So you got to really do some research in that area. Uh, and then we move forward to the next scene. We got Stormy and her physical trainer, Latricia. All these Latricias and Letitias is gonna be the death of me. But they meet up. But the two of them meet up for wine and that charcuterie board, the nibbles and the chat. And let's just say Latricia, she looks good. Like you can tell she is a gym rat like yourself. She's got curves for days and tummy flat. She's had two kids, but that stomach, those abs. She got the washboard abs. Like she looks great.
Yeah, no, she does. I definitely, when I saw her, because I thought at the beginning it was that was her sister or somebody that she've known long time, but
Mm-hmm.
to see them actually enjoy enjoying having that sat down at that wine place was really nice, and to see them talking about the fitness side
Mm-hmm.
of it.
Now,
Um,
I gotta ask you this. I gotta jump in and ask you this. Are you seeing, now that we've seen Stormy in a few more scenes since the first week? Are you seeing Stormy's transformation? Because she has lost weight. Have you noticing that, Miss Iffy?
do you know what? I haven't noticed anything.
Ooh, the shade from Miss Iffy from that side of the pond. Oh, that UK shade is horrible.
It's all that wine she's been drinking. Listen,
Oh, she. Yeah. Now those alcohol is empty calories, right?
exactly.
So we're not gonna go out on Friday night next week, are we?
No, I'm out. I'm out on Saturday. I think. Actually, I'm off to a festival as well next Monday.
Oh, next week. She says it's a holiday over there in the UK. Now, so wait a minute. So I'm gonna. Is it okay? Tell the people what you are in the process of doing to celebrate your upcoming birthday. You want to tell them? You want to tell our viewers what it
Yes.
is you're doing? Mhm.
So my upcoming birthday, I'm starting with next week by going to a festival on the Monday, to a reggae festival. So I'm going to see Beanie Man and Kate Button, a big artist, and then the following week I'm going to be going away on holiday by myself because I want to be on a plane for my actual birthday. And then I've got friends and I've got a big party after that.
Well, no, but tell them the specific goal. Did you mind, if you don't mind sharing it? If you do, we can move on to the
What
next
gold
thing.
was it? I completely forgot.
44. Go ahead. 40. Does that nudge your memory? 40.
Oh, oh yes. So yeah, I completely forgot. So I'm to celebrate for my 40th birthday. I wanted to complete of being in a 40 countries, traveled to 40 countries, and I will
Yeah.
be going to Croatia on couple of days before my birthday, and that will be my 40th country I visited.
Oh, wow. That is amazing. Like, I can't say that I've done anything even close to that. That is absolutely amazing. If I didn't know better, I would think that you are a flight attendant also on the side. But like, how many continents is that? So 40 countries, and how many continents is that total? So you got Europe, you've got what, Africa that you've been to? Have you
Yeah,
been, okay, go ahead. Asia maybe?
I've been to Asia. Yeah, I went to Vietnam.
Oh wow. Okay. All
Yeah,
right. So Asia, okay.
and North America.
North America. You've been to North America. So was that Canada or the States?
I've been to. I went to Dominican Republic,
Okay.
Cuba, and the States.
Okay. Nice. Look at you, girl. Your passport. You don't went through a few passports.
I know, literally.
Wow.
If you look at my passport, you cannot even see. You can't even read the logo on the top.
Oh my God. It's just worn out.
Very much so.
That is amazing. And congratulations. And I'm rooting for you. I'm so excited about your upcoming birthday. Um, Okay, so now back to the show. Stormy begins to talk about her IVF journey and new motherhood. And it really showed a different side of Stormy. I like this softer side of Stormy when she's talking about her struggles with getting pregnant, and now how much she adores her little boy, her and her husband. And I'm very happy for her. I'm very happy that, like, she, like myself, she did breastfeeding, which is such a great bonding experience. And they even talk a little bit about, I guess, her and this new journey that her and her husband might take of doing uh, surrogacy.
Yep.
So they talked about that a little bit, and I thought that was very interesting. And I don't know, I've only had a few girlfriends that have done the IVF journey, but I know that it's very taxing on the woman's body because of the hormones and the overload. And it's also very taxing on a couple's savings and finance because it costs quite a bit too. So
Yes.
do you know anybody that has went through the IVF journey at all?
Um, my sister was actually very lucky. She was going through the journey of IVF until the day when it was due to start. She
Okay.
found out that she was pregnant
Oh
naturally.
wow! The day that she was going to start the journey, she found out that she was pregnant.
Yeah.
Do you
And
mind? Do you mind if I ask you how old your sister was at that time?
she was actually 28 at the time.
Are you kidding me? Are you
Yes.
kidding me, girl?
She
What?
just couldn't. Okay, so two of my sisters actually. She just couldn't get pregnant. So her doctor, and she was a bit overweight. So the doctor advised her to lose some weight, and she's a
Hmm.
nurse. So what she did is that she ended up taking, they tried everything and it wasn't working. So before the journey starts, so she ended up losing some weight, and then
Okay. Hmm. I have
suddenly,
heard my girlfriend that started IVF. She did say that too, right? And
yeah,
she also dealt with my girlfriend. She was dealing with her and her husband. She was dealing with PCOS
yeah,
condition, polycystic ovary syndrome or something, whatever that is. And so that was an issue that which I think also causes some hormonal imbalance too, if I'm not
yeah,
mistaken. Yeah. Drop down in the chat. I'm not a doctor or nurse, so drop down in the chat if you know a little bit more about these issues and different things that we women go through sometimes just to bring forth life and bring forth our beautiful children.
yeah.
Uh, Go ahead. Go ahead. Mhm.
But yeah, so my sister was very lucky. But God only blessed her with that one child.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, and then the other one was the same. I think she had a late miscarriage, and they told her she couldn't have kids. Uh, but obviously, God had other plans, and she's got five beautiful daughters.
Oh, she had 5 kids. Okay. Wow.
Yes, all
Yeah.
five girls. After they told her
Wow.
after
Wow.
her first pregnancy, I think she had a miscarriage about when she was about 5 months, and they told her she
Ooh,
couldn't
I'm so
carry
sorry.
kids. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I've had some friends that had some now that I'm thinking about it, girlfriends that one girlfriend that every child and she had to. She lost one to miscarriage as you pointed out. But every every child that she had, every pregnancy, they literally had to sew up her cervix because and she had to be off her feet because she would threaten to miscarry about maybe in the second trimester. So
Oh,
men, really, if you're watching and listening to the podcast, appreciate your wife, appreciate your child's mother. It's a not an easy task to go through 9.5 months of pregnancy, almost 10 months of carrying a child. And they say it takes something like 6 or 7 years for your body to even go back to what it was like before you actually gave birth. So be patient with your wives, be patient with your partners when they're carrying your children. Be loving and kind to them. That's what I would say. But
do you think
mhm,
Stormy?
mhm.
Do you think why is she going through this surrogacy stage? Is it because she wants to keep her body, or
No, 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 no. Oh, I guess you missed it. Oh, okay. So let me say this. It's been talked about, I know, last season and a little bit this season. They talked about it this episode, so you might have missed it. They didn't go into detail, but her husband. So when Stormy had their child, when she had their little boy, um, what happened after she delivered the baby, she started hemorrhaging blood and she lost so much
oh,
that they almost lost her. She almost lost her life. And her husband was fearful for her to carry another child. So that's why they're talking about the surrogacy situation.
okay,
Yeah, it was literally like, you know, Yeah, it was that serious. So yeah, that's why he doesn't want her to do it again. So I can appreciate that. I definitely can appreciate his point. Um,
Yeah,
oh, Ellen says, "Oh yes, I've had two of my friends that have PCOS. Yeah, it's a lot of things as women with the hormonal changes that our bodies go through. One of them, my best friend used to say that, use that word, Aunt Flo. Yeah. Oh, hospitalized. Oh my God. No, it wasn't. Hers wasn't that bad. Wow, that's a mess. That's so sad. I'm sorry to hear that, Ellen. Um,
you know
wow.
what that what people don't understand what women go through uh,
Mm-mm.
during pregnancy is ridiculous. I mean, rest her soul. My mum died of child was it stillbirth?
Oh, child doing childbirth or right after childbirth, your
Yeah,
mother?
so yeah, so basically, she
Oh, I'm
gave
sorry.
birth, and then the child was
Oh,
stillbirth, so the child already died, and then she gave birth, and then 6 hours later she died.
oh my God.
Yeah, so it's just
I'm so sorry
women.
to hear that.
That's okay. It's part of life, you
You
know.
guys bear with me because in the process of all of this, apparently I spilled some wet stuff and I'm hoping my computer doesn't short out. I'm
Oh
turning it
no!
upside down. Yeah, it's crazy. I'm over here with my libations and slippery fingers. Let's see. I think I'm getting it. Let's see, what do I have to dry this up? But anyway, let's continue on. So Latricia was saying that she might be taking on Letitia as her client, for physical training. How do you think that'll go? Because what do you think the personality of Letitia and then Latricia? How do you think that will go?
I think, based on my first impression, I think they will clash. Um, it's just that they don't have they both have a personality where they would actually clash with each other from looking at it, especially when Latricia was talking to her husband, saying that how, if she's pushed, she only going to push it back 3 times more. And I felt that is going to be something that we need to see and watch out. Also, how are you going to take somebody as a client that you don't really know whether you want to get the best result out of them or not? And also, what the other things that what I found is that, we haven't seen the bit where Letitia's interested of getting fit.
Right, right. Because I was going to say part of that would be part of that is actually diet. It's what you eat. And I
Yep.
don't mean diet as in dieting, but diet in just whatever you eat. Like, you're eating a lot of Southern food, a lot of fried food, a lot of comfort food, which I love, much as the next person down south, up here north, because I grew up with a Southern mother who loved to cook. So I have those tendencies and that appetite. And I have to go back to things that like more salads, more vegetables, and less frying and less calories. You can literally lose the weight and never go to the gym, but you got to be calorie deficit. It's got to be a calorie deficit, right?
Yeah, and especially Letitia's not a person who likes to exercise. In the past activities I've seen her doing, she's always complaining. So it would be very interesting to see her have a, a personal trainer and to see her doing some work.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah,
And then
no, when it
go ahead.
comes to,
Mhm.
sorry, talking about the diet, when it comes to the gym, is 80% what you eat, 20% how you work out.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. A lot of it is literally what you eat. You literally could be like in my day of the size fours in my 20s and 30s. I didn't work out nearly as much as people probably thought I did. Now you would see me in the gym. When I went to the gym, I was like in the gym. Like I didn't go in there and do a little of this and then take a shower and leave. I was in there for hours doing whatever, like working on my toning my waist, working my legs, working my upper body. But literally, because back in my 20s and my 30s, I didn't eat a lot of junk. I didn't eat I think I had a high metabolism. I loved to dance. That was my activity. It wasn't so much the gym, but I was always out on the weekends dancing, like at the club dancing, and literally not going there to meet a guy, but literally going there to meet up with my friends and to just get on the dance floor and have a really good time and break a sweat there. Because I love that. That's how I like to exercise back then in my 20s. So it is really a lot to do with your diet. What about this? What about this in the next ticker? We've got Stormy admits to calling Letitia's husband a biatch. Like, what do you think? Like, that was a strange thing to have her admit that. I think what do you think? What do you think about that? Because I thought that was a really strange comment to say to somebody.
I was just laughing. I thought to myself that they also, this is to telling somebody that who doesn't know the other person, is like you giving them an idea already. I thought it was very disrespectful.
Yeah, yeah. It'll be interesting to see if she can call one woman's husband a itch. It'll be interesting to see uh, that whether this will translate to other women, like this woman Latricia, if she would stop and think, well, maybe she might call my partner Ken the same thing.
Exactly. You know, if they say something, it, there is no guarantee that same thing will not be done to you.
Right, right. If she's got that kind of mindset, although I don't think that every man is interested in dipping in women's business like Marceau, who
Yeah, no,
does like to do that dipping in the women's business.
he loves it. He gets kicks out of it.
I don't understand that. I got another show, the one we're watching, the Never Ever Mets, and we're gonna talk about that this week, to later tonight at 6:30, about Aaron and how he dipped into the business with the women in the house, and particularly with the young woman Jody, like that's 20 years his junior, and took this aggressive tone, but we'll get to that in later on tonight. So you guys stay tuned. Be sure and join us for that. Also, uh, Latricia says that she started working out 3 to 4 times a day back with her first husband, who not so lovingly Stormy nicknamed him Mister from the movie The Color Purple. You know about Mister, don't you, Miss Iffy?
No, I know the movie Color Purple, but I was
You
trying to
have
figure
never watched the movie?
no.
Oh, your black card. Give us back. It's being revoked. Mail it back over here to my United States address, because your black card is being revoked. Girl, what you mean you never watched The
I,
Color Purple? The
I,
original one too, by the way. You
I
must
know, I
watch
know, but
the
I just
original
don't
one.
remember the character, and I was
Oh,
trying to
that's
figure
the
out who.
husband. That's Whoopi Goldberg. Oh, you watched it. Okay, so I might forgive you. Okay, we might forgive you. That's the husband that was married to,
Ah,
Danny Glover's character that was married to Whoopi Goldberg. Much
oh,
older
okay,
man, controlling like Diddy, sadistic like Diddy allegedly,
yeah.
and very
Oh,
abusive.
there's no alleged. We saw the video.
Yeah. Yeah. But sometimes you gotta say things just to kind of cover yourself on these YouTube streets. But however, yeah. So that's he was called Mister. That was his name in the movie. He was just Mister. He wasn't like whatever his real name was. I forget the character's actual name, but his wife had to call him Mister of all things. Like, so that told you the level of intimacy. It was basically like a hierarchy where he's the superior and she's the inferior person. Yeah, but on this, so Latrice was saying that I guess she had to do all this working out. Apparently, her and her first husband, he was sounded like he was a hothead. She's also very passionate, so they were clashing. And her new partner, and her new love, Ken, is like, and I guess he's the beefcakes that they named this episode after, the new beefcakes, right? Um, he is very like, he's very much like, it's going to be okay. And I thought when I heard that, I thought about the good men in my life that have said it's going to be okay. Like that is a very safe person when they can create that environment and look you in your eyes and just really calm you down and say it's going to be okay. That is such a beautiful thing. What did you think of this scene, this part of the conversation?
I I must say I really like the new couple. They're going to be a great addition to the show, and I felt like watching them was something I haven't seen for a while. Maybe it's because it is a new love, and that you can see they've got that chemistry. The way he speaks to her, he's very soft. He's very reassuring her. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, yeah. I think that it sounded like it's so genuine. I'm wondering, like, are they going to survive Love and Marriage Huntsville? Which the new name for Love and Marriage, the acronym. People are saying it's
It's a
what is
marriage destroyer.
no, yeah, no, no, no. But there's an acronym, and LAMH is oh my god, it's something and mugshots Huntsville.
Ah,
Something look what's the L? I forgot the L. It's not love though. It's oh, lockups and mugshots Huntsville. That's what it stands for. That's what LAMH stands. And someone literally on these YouTube streets, girl, they did a video and it had all the mugshots of the cast members. And there was probably about like 12 cast members, including both the Scotts brothers. And they said they forgot to put Letitia's picture on there and her mother. They had Kiki's mugshot. They had Destiny's mugshot, Martell's mugshot, Martell's brother Montez mugshot. I was like, dang, this is
that
rough.
is
This is really,
crazy.
really rough.
That is crazy.
Oh, okay. Okay. She said his first name was Albert.
No, no, I think
Uh,
they're gonna survive. They're gonna survive. I've got a faith in these two.
yeah, yeah, I think they are. I think but here's the thing though, like who is it that also was featured over the weekend in real life? From the Love and Marriage Huntsville cast members formerly, what's her name? Tiffany. Tiffany in real life just got a $7 million grant, and everybody's giving her kudos now. And they're saying, yeah, like everybody wants to say, what did Tiffany do? Well, Tiffany get money. That's what Tiffany do. She get multi millions of dollars. That's what she does. She is a true corporate woman down there in Huntsville, and I'm kind of glad. I'm kind of glad, like when she had her baby, her and her husband. I'm glad that she decided to exit stage left from the show because this show.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Okay. Oh yeah. Oh, his uncle? Is that his uncle? Is Montez the uncle or is it Montez Holt? Not Holt. Yeah, Holt. Or is that the brother? Because his brother's in prison, so like it's just Oh, there's something I want to talk about just briefly. If you'll give me a moment, Miss Iffy. I, have a real problem with black women like Nell, who, because her son has been incarcerated off and on, thinks that the legal system, law enforcement, is not to arrest black men. Like, if you are threatening a black woman, if you are laying hands on and feet on a black woman, if you are assaulting a black woman, if you are unaliving black women, you absolutely need to be dealt with by law enforcement or meet the end of a Smith and Wesson. That's what it is. And like, because your adult child has got a problem with going to jail in and out, back and forth, is a criminal basically, you have no right to sit back and apply that logic to every black man. Like, wrong is wrong, right is right, and black women do have the right to be protected from black men who would harm them. Period. Period. So now you don't like that? Raise your sons better. Stop coddling them. Teach them to have accountability. Teach them to date white women. I don't care, but don't think that they can come over here in the black community and abuse us women who are always uplifting our men, uplifting our children, and think that that's okay. And you say, well, she shouldn't be calling the cops. I got a problem with that. You got a problem with the law. You got a problem with this. Did you have a problem with this man was about to send out revenge porn on his ex-wife and make it look like that it was some other man in the video, even though we know it was him? Like, who does that? Who does that? Ugh. Anyway, um,
Yeah,
Miss,
I agree with you. There are a lot of, in our community, people think that we should protect men who do wrong.
yeah, exactly.
And that's very sad.
It is. It's very sad, and I don't get it. I don't get it since everybody here knows that women are the weaker sex. Like, wrong is wrong. If it was the other way around and a woman was attacking a man and assaulting a man, I'd say the same thing for the woman. Yeah, call
Exactly.
the cops. Call the cops and have her arrested. Like, what's the big deal? If you don't want to spend time in a prison cell, then don't do crimes. Simple. Very
Fact.
simple. But anyway, on to Stormy and Courtney, they go classic car shopping and they talk about the baby surrogacy. What are your thoughts about this quickly? And we're going to move on to the bigger scenes, Miss Iffy.
Yeah, no, this was really, I felt like it was a filler, but it was
Hmm.
very cute, to see a husband and wife car shop and have a good laugh and have a important discussion of their next stage of having a child.
Yeah, they're family planning. Well, let me ask you this question. Do you think that Courtney and Stormy are ready for this whole process? Because the surrogacy is something they've not done before. Like I said, she did give birth to their first child, and she feels like their son is ready for a sibling. So, do you think that they're really ready for the whole process of surrogacy?
Yeah, I think that obviously they what they need to do, right, and if they agree with it, which is sounds like this is what they want to do, they need to do research now and to get to the next stage of it. But what was so funny was them thinking that they can choose the baby's sex.
I don't know. I think with the embryos, they do know if they're. I thought they did know if you do an embryo, right? So you basically are taking the sperm and the egg, and they are, you know, being cultivated. However, they cultivate them. I don't know. They do know the gender of the embryo, so they can implant males and they can implant females. So
Really?
actually, yeah, yeah,
I've
they actually
never
can.
even heard of it. How much extra is that going to cost them?
Look now, I never had to do that. Mine were made the old fashioned way, so I don't know.
Exactly.
I don't know.
No,
And
honestly,
there's
I
some
was,
tricks to that too, but that's a story for another day. That's story time, right?
I'm gonna,
Putting your legs up in the air like so many minutes.
I'm gonna go and Google it after this. How much does it cost?
Yeah, they actually can select. So I don't know. I don't know that it actually would be extra because, like I said, once the embryos are created, the scientists they actually know what the gender is. So I would not think that it would be anything extra. It's just you just pick out the male embryo versus a female embryo.
Wow,
Yeah. Yep. So,
impressive.
okay. So then let's move on. The next topic we're on to in the next scene, we got the new couple that we've been talking about, Latricia and Ken, looking good, and we find out, which I thought this is very nice. And this the way in modern romances and dating and marriage it's often going since people are marrying later or sometimes have a second marriage, as these two will do. They have a combined total of 3 kids, and I don't know if anybody's going to check back with them, but I was wondering, are they maybe planning on having any more children?
Um, I guess we're gonna find that out, but I doubt it. The what from what they said, but obviously they're
Mm,
still young, and but
right.
his kid, I think his child is only 13.
Okay.
And but what I've and obviously what her son is 18 or one said, but what I found was that it was really nice to see him changing his mind, even though he said he would never get married again, and be open to the opportunity to actually, oh, sounds like he was definitely planning to marry her.
Right. Oh yeah. They were talking. They were already talking about her. For her, she was talking about Stormy being a bridemaid because apparently she was Stormy's bridemaid in her wedding, and then he was talking about his groomsmen. So they were clearly like, very rarely these days do I hear black men talking about weddings, talking about which one of their their dudes are they going to ask to be in their wedding, colors of the tuxedos and all this kind of stuff. I was definitely there for it. I was definitely there for it. So guys, and Miss Iffy, you can tell me again, do you like this couple, and why or why not do you not like or like this couple?
I really like this couple. I like the
Why?
way uh,
Why?
I like the way their style of communication, the way they were
Mhm.
talking to each other. I like that even though he's really big, he's very soft.
Yeah,
And
gentle and sensitive to her.
yeah,
Yes.
from what he and the fact that the way she was talking about how she was really trying to push him away, and somehow he didn't run away and he ended up winning her over. And it's good to see a couple who's actually are ready to restart, that get a second chance at marriage again.
You know what just popped in my mind, Miss Iffy? I'm sorry, but it just popped in my head. I wonder if this couple is actually going to get married on this show at the
I
end of the season. Wouldn't that be something?
Oh, that would be really, really beautiful.
I
But he
think so
hasn't
too.
proposed yet. So
Yeah, but he hasn't, but or maybe it could be next season. You might be right. Maybe it won't happen until next season. Maybe this season he'll propose this season, and then next season they'll get married. So I do feel like this couple is here to stay. That's the sense that I'm getting from these scenes and for them showing them multiple times this week. I like that Ken. I thought he was very wise when he told his partner. He told her for her not to be gossiping with the other ladies about her client, Letitia, to be very careful about that because on reality shows, we know that's typically what starts the infighting is when someone goes back and tells another someone what someone said, and then it goes back and forth, and then all these phone calls and that game of telephone, and it gets exaggerated until the person finds out, and then there's a big explosive scene, right?
yeah, he's definitely giving her the right advice and how to, if she's gonna get involved this group, how to start with start with the right way, and to be not be able to have gossips with people that she doesn't know. And also, what was really nice is that you are right.
Mhm.
This couple's definitely going to stay. They've got a lot more storylines coming up. Like the fact that they still got to blend their family together.
Yes, yes, there you go.
Yeah, and their marriage. And, we still need to find out what her business. I would love to see her doing her BT sessions. So I really hope we get to see few scenes of her being involved.
Oh yeah, I would like to see that. I would like to see how she trains Letitia. Right. I would like to see what kind of exercises is she going to recommend. As you pointed out from previous episodes, it doesn't seem like Letitia is necessarily that into physical fitness, but I'm sure she'll break her in gently and show her some things. Like I know a girl that used to train on my Facebook, and she was so fit. She was over in Chicago. She was always doing those things called burpees. The burpees? Like, no, leave me out of the burpees.
Yeah, the burpees is a killer. It's not for everybody.
Mm-mm. No, it's definitely not. It's clearly for somebody that's athletically inclined and that is already very physically fit. So talking about Ken being wise, we've got the next scene we jump to. Melody meets up with Letitia and Kimmy for planting of desert flowers and desert plants and a chat. And of course, we find out as she catches up with them that Letitia and her kids finally got to go to South Africa with her husband. Because, he liked to go over to Africa from the United States all by himself. So he says, wink, 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 wink.
I wonder what's there.
I was just so like, when a man tells you he's got to go thousands of miles away from his home by himself without you. I mean, like, okay, if they decided they didn't want to take the children and maybe have a romantic getaway to refresh and recharge and to revigorate their love life or whatever, okay, fine. But he didn't take the kids and he didn't take you, and you think that he was over there by himself.
I mean, we already know what's happening. I mean,
I laugh at the foolery of it all. I laugh, but
he must be part of the passport bros, they call it themselves.
yeah, that's very well could be what it is. He's a passport bro. But then the other thing, on a somber note, we find out that Kimmy's mother has been diagnosed with breast cancer, unfortunately, but she has the slow moving type of breast cancer. They caught it, I guess, early, and it seems to be she's doing well, according to Kimmy. And of course, Kimmy, having went through just gone through breast cancer treatment herself, is there for her mother and can give her great advice. She's a RN, she's a nurse, she knows all about it, and she's personally experienced it. So, what better way for those two to bond and to encourage each other? I thought that was very touching. But of course, Mel wants to know next up, why weren't the ladies at the podcast? What do you think, Miss Iffy?
Oh, this was really, really interesting. See, this was honest conversation.
Yes.
I felt they were both told her the real reasons and what was their concerns of why they didn't show up.
Yeah, they did.
Obviously, Letitia it still feels like she's still dealing with that trauma of last time she went to Mel's event where she was
Yeah.
escorted out of the event.
Yeah.
And I understood her valid reasons of why she didn't want to go. But this was a different event because this was an event where she was physically could have gone and purchased tickets, and it didn't need an invitation from anybody.
Right, right. That's a thing. The no, she said, Letitia specifically said very clearly to Melody, hey, listen, no invitation, no me.
But did she said that to her? Did she said it in the confession?
Oh, was it the confessional? Okay, okay. Drop down in the chat in the comments if you're watching on replay, guys. My bad, my bad.
I think
Probably it might have been the confessional. You're right.
I mean, I remember clearly that she said that in a confession.
Ah,
But
okay, okay.
I really, yeah, I hope she tells her face to face, so at least Mel's aware from now on that, if she's going to do something, she would have to
Hmm.
invite her.
Yeah, yeah, because she says she has forgiven, but that doesn't mean you forget. And I agree with her because I couldn't remember. And I actually saw that episode where they were escorted out. That was a while ago. I couldn't remember what the event was, and I couldn't remember what the reason was. Why? Do you recall why they were escorted out of the event that Melody had?
I don't remember why. I've watched it, but no, I can't recall it right now. But
Okay.
one thing that I didn't understand is that this was a different situation. Ever since that incident, obviously they've been in the same places. She has attended other events that Mel have organized. She
Hmm.
has it's because she sent invitation. But this event, the podcast didn't need no invitation. The tickets was out, and it was up
Right.
to her to go in and purchase it.
Right. And to your point about tickets too, being that it's a ticketed public event, that meant that Melody would have very little say so in ever having her escorted out. So that there shouldn't have been a fear of that, even though you can remember that happening from the past. But to be
Yeah.
truthful, I think this was more of the answer. Let me get to this ticker right here because I think this was more the answer what Kimmy said. I think it was part of what not dismissing what Letitia thought about them being escorted out because certainly were I her, yeah, that would have been on my mind too, and I probably wouldn't have been there either, quite frankly. But Kimmy says that she specifically didn't attend because the peeps that flock to Mel and support her are mean to Kimmy and Letitia. What did you think about that?
I I found Kimmy talking in this scene pretty much that one minute she was saying something and then there was no real facts behind it. She only said this because first she said it is because the event was negative. And
Mm.
Mel asked her, how does she know the event was negative? And then she said, due to Sunny.
Oh yeah, Sunny being there and Sunny being her and her Moses being boo, but that was more situational, I believe, to the fact that Sunny was the former producer of Destiny, and that then she
Exactly.
turns around and sneaks off and marries her man, her ex man, or however you want to look at it. It just seemed a little incestuous, if you will, if you don't mind me using that word.
Yeah, no, no, no. And then she start changing and saying that oh, it's because she didn't attend because of the people who flocked to Mel are mean to her. And
Mm, the millimeters allegedly.
yeah, and I think that was just that's an excuse. You
Yeah,
know, people are mean to you because obviously you're on a reality show.
yeah,
Nobody should be. It's not acceptable. I don't believe in that type of behavior. But
right.
those are the people that were being. It's people that sitting behind a computer.
Hmm.
Nobody's ever mean to them directly on face to face, especially not at an event where she's attending and
Yeah,
supporting that person.
yeah, you're
So
right.
I
It's
think it's
a
just
lot
an
of.
excuse.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I think again I found this was an excuse,
Okay.
a
And yeah,
poor
I was gonna say
excuse.
too, I think that there's a lot of keyboard bullies and you gotta recognize that in some cases, probably most cases, that the same person that would say whatever behind the keyboard, like I just had one on my channel this week earlier when I posted something, and they're just jumping in the on the post saying whatever this is what they were gonna do, and almost basically kind of threatening me with a good time. And I was like, "What? You threatening me with a good time? What? Like, cause
Wow,
I'm a girl. I don't have no problem calling the police. And by the way." Many police officers, including Secret Service men, are some of my good friends. So don't think they can't find you throwing that out there. So, but anyway,
that's
uh,
crazy.
yeah, I don't have a problem calling the police because the minute you threaten me or my family, that's exactly who I'm going to call. And I'm going to follow up on it. And I'm going to be on their neck until they find you. So, yeah, you got a lot of bullies and trolls on the internet. And when they see you growing and glowing up, or even just saying something that they don't agree with, or even just being a race or a gender that they don't appreciate. They don't appreciate black, they don't appreciate women. It's all kinds of reason, but the very same person could be standing next to you at an event or sitting next to you and never say a word. Quiet as a church
True.
mouse, you know?
Yeah. No, no. Many of those trollers, trust me, they are just a fan. When you see them face to face, they've just come with that fake smile.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. There you go. That fake smile, and that is so true. What you're saying, that is so true. Um, and the other thing as we move on is so we see in this scene that also Mel gets a little direct, and she basically tells the ladies that she is not Destiny's friend, and Destiny clearly that means that Destiny is not hers, and that people will say anything but do anything behind your back. Um, she seemed to be making a point of clarifying that. Miss Iffy, what did you take from that?
I think my take was that she was letting these ladies know that, hey, Destiny and I's are completely done. That was
Mhm.
somebody that I was friends with before, and we're no longer friends.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's what it is. Which, like I said, is kind of interesting though, because the two ladies had they been able to maintain a friendship. It's interesting because, as we talked about earlier in this podcast, Melody is going through a lot of the same things with her ex-husband as Destiny is with LeBaric, her ex-husband, with their child custody situation, right?
Yeah,
That is interesting. If they had remained friends, they might have been able to maybe strategize together some.
but then it's because if Destiny didn't go and did what she did, then that would have been the story. And
What did Destiny do? What am I missing here?
I,
And
she definitely took Mel's ex-husband's side.
oh
She's
yeah, yeah,
she's
yeah. In the
been
divorce. Okay.
she's been doing a lot of like that. And as a friend, when somebody's doing that, when you're going through your hardest time in your life,
Mm-hmm.
it's not something that you're gonna forget and forgive. And I think their relationship is over completely, and I can't see them ever being back in touch. They will be in the same room. I
Mm-hmm.
hope I hope they can be in the same room
Oh yeah,
because obviously the show.
I think yeah, for the show and for the pay, I think pretty much anybody can be cordial, for the show.
Yeah.
But in real life, I don't see them, like you said, sitting down and breaking bread together. Uh,
No,
and
no.
last but not least, coming up next week looks interesting. We got Martell is being told off by his friend Fletcher that his wife is not, and nor has she ever been, a side piece. What are your thoughts about the whole side piece thing with Nell? Because she said she didn't know that he was still married.
Oh,
She said that
please.
she thought that she thought, or he told her, I'm not sure which, that he was separated. So how does that work with the side piece situation? If you don't know, does that mean you're still not a side piece, or how does that work?
You see, again, I think people need to do their research regarding about these things, and I'll be very surprised if she didn't do a research. You meeting a man and he's telling you he's separated. Are you really going to take his words in? Like, I wouldn't take his words from this. I would have just done. I think she was side piece for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. It's given side. But here's my thing though too, is I thought about it some more because she's talking about this thing that comes up too with Nell earlier in the scene. If we didn't talk about it, I'm not sure if we did or not. About Nell's
X.
stepdaughter Lexi has been on podcasts around here in the United States calling her stepmom a side piece because apparently Fletcher was still married to her mom. So of course she's got feeling some kind of way because she was a child when this, or teenager when this was going on or whatever. Um, but my thinking is though too, as I think it through, and I know she was just a child, so her reasoning won't be necessarily as sound as a mature person. But I'm thinking like, did anybody ever think to check the dad? Like your dad was the one in the marriage with your mom. So then, therefore, what kind of conversations have you had with your dad about taking on an extra woman while he was still supposedly, allegedly married to your mom? What conversations? See, these are the things, this whole patriarchal setup, it has to be deconstructed in the United States, in the UK, and around the world. It has to be deconstructed because it leaves these men out here feeling like they don't have to be accountable to anybody for the dirt that they do, for the pain that they cause, for the households that they wreck and tear apart so that they can be with allegedly a side piece.
And to be honest with you, I think if the stepdaughter's talking, she got that she got that information from the parent. So there's
Okay.
definitely some kind of anger issue, well, no, grudge holding situation happening in that household.
Ah, okay.
But yeah, because she was a teenager. For her to come and talk now as an adult, is that she got that information from her mum, and I don't think a your stepchild would be saying that if there was no truth to it. This whole
Okay.
side piece thing, there, the rumor came from somewhere, so therefore, and nothing starts without at least having like 50% of being true.
Mm.
Yeah, no, I definitely think she is a.
You think so? You saying that where there's smoke, it's the
Yes,
saying
there's
go.
no fire.
There's a fire. Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Hmm. Guys, what do you think in the chat? What do you think on the replay? Do
because
you think?
I look at it now.
Mm-hmm.
Now just seems to be everything is triggering her
Mm-hmm.
at that scene. You know, the jail thing was triggering her. The him getting arrested. Him
Yeah, you're
talking at the
right.
podcast.
You're right. Everything is triggering her. That's a very good point.
Yeah, she seems to, and it seems like again next week we're gonna see the same story when she's talking to Montel.
Yeah, and then so the other thing I've got for next week that where'd I go here? We've got also Destiny says she hasn't talked to Mel, to the girls, to Tisha and Kimmy. Maurice talks to Moses about his marriage, his new marriage, and the backlash that he's getting. We also see, like you said, Nell is talking to Martel about his alleged attempt to put out on social media this revenge corn. If you follow what I'm saying, the revenge corn, and that she has made the decision to invite Mel to her birthday party and not to invite Martell. I think that's going to cause a lot of tension with Martell, because he has to be invited. He has to be the center of attention at all times. How do you think that's going to go next week?
Oh, he's just gonna fight. That's what he's like. He likes to just he's gonna get emotional about it. He's gonna become defensive. Um, Looking at his facial expression, and nothing that she talks to him about it, is he gonna listen? He does not listen to women. He doesn't value what women have to say and their opinion, no matter whether they're friends or not. He's just going to become defensive as always. And the boys talking to the
I like
boys.
this comment. I'm sorry, I had to laugh. Donna D said, "Ignorance of the law is no excuse, nor is ignorance of side pieceism any excuse. No excuse." That's hilarious. Side pieceism. That's a new
uh,
word. I like that word.
yeah, no, she can pretend.
And
But
what do you think about Donna D's revelation and her observation, which I think is interesting? Donna D also claims the fact that Chris lied to his now wife, either outright or either by omission, that should have turned Neil off from Chris. What do you think, Miss Iffy? Would that have turned you off from a man if you found out after the fact, when you started dating him, that he was still married and still living with his wife? And would that have turned you off and made you
oh
want
yeah, no, definitely. I would ended it. I would definitely have ended the situation if that was me.
to?
Personally, I
Yeah.
actually experienced something like that.
I was gonna say, me too. In college, I met a man, and he had every excuse, and I was so naive at the time. I fell for his dumbness. I mean, my dumbness. I fell for his, for his excuses and reasons, and he traveled and all this and all that. And then one day, I don't know what I was doing. It was just like the beginning of the internet, and I went online and I was looking up stuff, and I was looking him up, and I found his address and his phone number, and I called his home phone number, and the missus answered the phone. And I had a nice, calm, peaceful conversation with her about her husband. Now, my Flip side, my girlfriend at the time, my best friend, said, "Oh, you shouldn't have done that." And I said, "What do you mean I shouldn't have done that? That's ridiculous what you're saying. Like, oh, you should
Yeah,
have done that. You this and you that." And I said, "Well, no, she need to know what her husband was doing. I didn't even know that he was married. So I'm in the innocence here. He omitted, he lied, like you said, by omission and by no, actually, no, directly lying by saying he wasn't married, never wore his ring, and always had all these different excuses. I had his work number, but not his home number, or number, I could think it was his cell phone, but not his home number, or whatever it was at the time. And anyway, but I talked to the wife, and here's the thing about it. I'm gonna tell you something. When you meet these guys out here in the streets like that are two timing and they trying to making you the side piece, even though ignorance, as Donna D said, is no excuse. Here's the thing though, their wives, they usually know. Because when I finished talking to her for a good hour or two, she
yeah.
absolutely knew that he was this cheater type person. And at the end of the conversation, she actually invited me to have him. She was through with him because she had dealt with so much from him. And she said, "Oh, you can
Wow.
have him. I don't want him." But the thing about that, she was in her emotions and her feelings. She ain't really mean none of that. She ain't really mean none of that because this guy was a big time executive, and there's no way he wants to split his stuff 50-50, and no way she don't want to live in the big house. No way.
Exactly. No,
But
no.
I told her exactly what it was, and I don't regret it not one bit. And I'll tell you another thing, 2 weeks later, I ran into both of them and their kids in the mall.
Wow.
Yes, I did. I'm telling
That's
you.
crazy. Years ago, right? I was there.
Hmm.
I went out with a couple of friends and met a friend of friend, and he really liked me. So all my friends were like saying, "Oh, he likes you, blah blah blah. Why don't you date him? You've never dated anybody from same country as you." All this nonsense, right? And then I told
Right.
the girls, I was like, "Look, don't fall for what he's telling you. That's my gut feeling is telling me something else." So I went out on a date with him, and then a couple of weeks later or a month later, he
Uh-huh.
was doing all these little things. So I did is I went to my neighbor and I call her the interview lady. She's very nosy, basically. So I just all I did was to describe him because we're all from the same country, and I'm not joking. She gave me all the information I needed. Turns out he was not divorced, like he said, with one kid. He was actually still married and have had 5 kids and lied about his age.
He's got a whole tribe behind him, huh?
He's got a whole basketball team and lied about his and lied about his age as well and his name.
Wow.
Yeah, no, I do investigation nowadays. Uh, you have to.
Yeah. Do you ever use the Claire's law? Do you ever use that?
I haven't yet. Uh, yeah, I've never needed it too. But same thing, my last relationship, he told me he was divorced. Turns out 2 years into it, he never got divorced.
Okay, now, so but were you able to go back to his home? So he was separated from the
Oh no,
wife
he was separated. He was separated. I
and
met his family.
had his own place, right?
No, no, he was living in London. He was separated. They were separated for 10
Oh, was
years.
she in another country? Was this like
Yeah,
a ooh, well, see, that's what I always say about Nigerians over here. I've heard that you will be dating them, come back to their place, they seem like they're single, and back over in Nigeria, they got a wife or two or three or four or whatever.
that you know what? That's the Eastern European in England as well.
I believe it. I believe all these guys, these passport bros and passport put a replace B with a R. I mean with an H and an O and an E and an S. That's passport.
Exactly.
Anyway, yeah. But
No, no,
anyway,
you have
uh,
to do your research
you
nowadays.
do. You
Yeah.
do. Absolutely do. But we'll be back, guys, next week to cover same time, same place, and we'll be looking forward to welcome you again. Make sure you drop down in the comments. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, and catch Miss Iffy. She's got her own wonderful channel, and you can jump across the pond, as Monique King would say, and subscribe to Miss Iffy. And there's the link right there, guys. And we're going to shimmy and shake on out of here, aren't we?
Yes. Have a good week, guys.
Yes, have a great week. And I love you already. If you're subscribed and you're watching this video, I love you already.